So what she did is she sketched a drawing of herself and then showed the student how to apply watercolor.
Like a page ripped out of a children's storybook, the woman in this drawing has a face that is vaguely familiar. Somehow we've seen her before.
I don't think a 7 or 8-year-old child would have put those, slanting eyebrows and that little slutty mouth on.
It could be her thick, arched eyebrows, or maybe it's her dog Billy that spills the secret. Emily Carr was truly one of a kind.
She did a lot of cartooning, especially when she was in England. She showed herself in a comical light.
This drawing was likely sketched by Carr herself, but painted by one of her young students in Vancouver in the early 1900s. It was recently donated to the Royal BC Museum, one of several Emily Carr items that have surfaced since the Other Emily exhibit opened earlier this year.
Material seems to stay in the community for longer. People are grounded in Victoria. They don't move from Victoria as readily. So if something they have relates to Emily Carr or the Carr family, it tends to sort of stay in the community.
And this letter by Carr's sister, who was a teacher, has also been donated over the past few months.
She was getting on so nicely. I hate her to stop, and I would be glad of the extra $3. Very sincerely, Alice M. Carr.
It shows how Alice was short of money and needed her paying students to return to the classroom. The letter is just another example of how Carr's ties to the South Island are still strong more than 60 years after her death.
It's been very popular. It's very busy. Whenever I come up here, there's people, and they're not just kind of walking through without looking. They're spending the time to read the labels and to look at the documents.
The Other Emily exhibit has been at the Royal BC Museum in Victoria for more than 7 months now, and it's got locals and visitors talking. In fact, there's been more written comments about the Other Emily than any other exhibit in the museum's 125-year history.
And what's surprising is that they're not just short comments like "I like it," they're telling us specifically how they feel, which is fascinating.
The exhibit is helping to show us a side of Emily Carr we probably don't know, a younger side, and to open up a window into her personality, her critical eye, dry wit, and her ability to observe other people.
A lot of people have responded strongly to the personal nature of this exhibition, to actually see Emily Carr's letters, to see her handwriting, I think, and to see her talking about the way she was feeling about certain things. And, the little tiny things that most human beings deal with, human relations, the loss of her brother.
Oftentimes what you end up with a public figure is you end up with what's in the newspaper or what they wrote about or what was said about a person. And all of the intimate little everyday parts of a person's life just don't get documented and saved. And so this is the kind of stuff that seems to be coming forward.
And at a time when we're seeing fewer international tourists, the museum says it's the local visitors who are helping to make the Other Emily a success.
If you know a little bit about the topic, then you're more receptive. It's harder when you're coming in from the outside. So Canadians, I think, would typically know a little bit about Emily Carr.
And if you haven't had the chance to get to know Emily Carr, the Royal BC Museum is extending the exhibit until October 16th. And then next summer, it moves on to Vancouver's Chinatown to showcase the museum's new satellite gallery. In Victoria, I'm Nikki Ewanyshyn for The Daily.